Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Nick Kwahu. Today we are going to briefly explore who our elected representatives are who represent us in the Congress and in our state legislature. So with that, we are briefly going to talk about who our elected senators are that represent the state of California, as well as the districts for which we are represented in the state and federal system, as well as the possibility of gerrymandering for any of these districts. Our two senators that were elected to represent the state of California in the federal Senate is Dianne Feinstein and Kamala Harris. Dianne Feinstein started serving in 1992 and is currently the oldest senator in the United States. And Kamala Harris was recently elected after serving as the Attorney General for the state of California. Both are in the Democratic Party. For the purposes of this assignment, I currently live in Beaumont, so I'm going to be listing which districts I currently fall into. And so for the congressional district for the U.S. Congress, our current representative is Raul Ruiz. He was elected a couple years ago and he got reelected. He represents the desert area. Basically, the lines are drawn basically down the 10 freeway from Blythe all the way up to about Yucaipa Redlands. So now we've moved from the federal elected, as in the Congress and Senate, to our state representatives. And in the California Senate District 23, we have Mike Morrell, a Republican who's been elected several times. That represents the area. And if you can see by the map, you can see how the lines are drawn down towards Hemet and all the way out through Rancho Cucamonga. Kind of cuts San Bernardino in half, which I thought was pretty interesting, which we'll talk about in the gerrymandering portion. And for the state assembly, Beaumont falls into the 42nd Assembly District, and we are represented by Chad Mays, who's also a Republican. The area for the 42nd District is basically the desert to the east, all the way out towards Beaumont and Cal Mesa area. So the prospect for gerrymandering is always there, and it's usually done to redistrict when a certain party has control of the House or Congress or Senate or presidency. That's when you usually find gerrymandering that goes a little bit further than it usually does. And usually this is based off of census information. So it's interesting to think about in 2020, what's the census going to say and how's the redistricting going to go, as far as looking at the Senate district for the 23rd, represented by Morrell. I find that really interesting that it cuts San Bernardino in half to the south and west, as the demographics of the city are kind of split. On the west side we have more Hispanic, and on the east side you have more African American, but on the north end you have more white and Asian. So there's definitely the potential for gerrymandering anywhere you go when you look at the different cities. But as far as what I see now, I think they're going to have to do some serious reform in an effort to try to represent everybody equally, and the 2020 census is going to really dictate that.